Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. Welcome to our Music Minute, a chance to look at our hymns for use in worship tomorrow. We're going to start, it's Christ the King Sunday, so we're going to start with Come Thou Almighty King. And this is officially an anonymous hymn. We don't really know who wrote it, although many try to attribute it to Charles Wesley. We've talked about him a lot in our hymns over the past several months, but he actually did not write it. It is a hymn to the Trinity. And its words suggest that no human person, agency, or state is the ultimate power, but rather it is God as the king that we are looking at there. The hymn name tune is Italian hymn. However, it also goes by Moscow because that's where the composer died. It's also known as Giardina, which is the composer's last name, and it's also known as Trinity for the text. So this is actually a version called Dawn, so it's going to sound like the morning dawn, and you'll see the lights coming, the sun rising, and somewhere in there will be Come Thou Almighty King. So here it is. Kind of like the Thine the Amen that we had last week, a very surreal sound. Get lost in there. Next, we are going to move to our hymn of the day, O Christ, What Can It Mean for Us? And the author of this text has some poignant words that I wrote down here to share with you. And according to the author, she says, what can it mean for us to claim Christ as our King? My answer? It means that we may not wield power over others as the world does, letting might take precedence over right. The way of love is opposite the way of power, and as followers of Jesus, we are called to take the way of love. Love shows itself in other-centered service rather than self-centeredness. The fact that we are wealthy and powerful as individuals and as a nation places on us a special responsibility to care for those who are poor and weak. So this hymn, rather than the glorious triumphant king that you'll hear in both Come Thou Almighty King and Crown Them with Many Crowns, which will come later, this hymn portrays the humbler image of Christ, a different kind of king. This is going to go on piano, and so we'll switch over there. So a different kind of king, a different kind of song for this Christ the King. And last but not least, as promised for our sending hymn, will be Crown Him with Many Crowns, one that we probably all know very well. And this is actually something you may not have known. It's the meshing of two hymns. So Matthew Bridges wrote 6 8-line stanzas, all beginning with Crown Him with Many Crowns. Then Godfrey Thring published 6 8-line stanzas that began with Crown Him with Crowns of Gold. And the Thring version was originally written at the request of a pastor to supply the place of some of the stanzas in the Bridges version, the first one, of which the pastor did not approve. So, afterwards, Thring rewrote the entire hymn so that they could be kept separate and that there would be 2 hymns. That proved to not work so well. And even today, in the version we have in our ELW, we mesh the 2 together and they have merged. So this is Crown Him with Many Crowns. so you can feel the fanfare for Christ the King Sunday. If you are joining us for worship tomorrow, in person is still at 8:30 and 11 o'clock in the sanctuary. And tomorrow is our first day of live streaming, so that will be available at 11 a.m. on live stream. That is a change from the past weeks. So 11 a.m. if you are online. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll look forward to getting together again next week.